Vega-Gluch from Phoenix Cake Company, and I am going to show you how to make a piano decoration from fondant. You're going to need some Rice Krispy cereal. I cheated. I brought the pre-made stuff because I am always pressed for time, and these are nice. They come in that thickness. You can make your own. If you do this, you need to make it a couple days ahead of time. I actually cut this out already. This is the block. I just cut the pre-made sheets come in, I think they're 11 by 17. And I just cut a section of that. We're going to make a template. I don't know what a grand baby piano looks like offhand, so once again, I use the internet and I do a search on piano or grand baby piano. And if you actually put in piano template, it will actually pull up a nice little template for you. You can print that and you can use that as your template. I kind of freehanded it, so it would be a little bit smaller for me. Like I said, either way. This is cardstock. So you're going to draw your template out. You're going to cut it out, which I already did. You're going to actually cut two pieces out. The first one is going to be actual size. Your next one you're going to cut out is going to be a tiny bit bigger around the perimeter. You're going to put the smaller template down on your rice cereal. You're going to use a little serrated knife, preferably like a paring knife, something that's a little bit easier to handle. You know, don't get the big old, butcher block knife. When you're as a good rule of measure, smaller area you're going to cut, smaller the knife. So I'm going to cut around, which I already did ahead of time. That's why it came apart so easily. There you go. There is the base, or pretty much the piano shape. Always keep your extra little pieces of rice cereal. I use this all the time for sculpting. It will get hard as a rock. Even if you wrap it, it will tend to get hard. Always keep it though, because then you can nuke it for a few seconds. Make sure you watch it, because this stuff gets really soft very quickly. And then you can reshape it. So always keep your extra pieces. Once this is cut out, you're actually going to cut out another piece, which I actually did this ahead of time just to save some time here. Very thin. Roll out the fondant very thinly. This is pre-made black fondant. I highly recommend buying it pre-made. Making your own black fondant is very difficult to get this true black. So this is how thin you're going to want to get it. You want to get it as thinly as possible. Once it's cut out, you want to cut, it's probably about 1/2 inch, maybe. Yeah, it's approximately about 1/2 inch strip. You're just going to get a razor blade and just cut right here. This is very important that you cut this strip off, because if you don't, that little overhang is going to be in the way of where the keys are going to go. So make sure you cut that little 1/2 inch strip off before you dry this. Okay. So let's get back to our little rice cereal. I am going to, you can either coat this with vegetable shortening, and I just rub this in all over. This kind of acts as the icing right before you put your fondant over the top. You want to actually cut out a section for the keyboard. Once this is covered with your royal icing or your vegetable shortening, you want to get your black fondant out. You're going to roll this. You want to soften it a little bit, get it a little bit more pliable. A little dusting of powdered sugar. Don't worry if there's little spots on here. Like I said, we're going to steam this, and that's all going to come off. It's going to make the piano real nice and shiny. Always lift up your fondant every now and then instead of just adding pressure, because what happens is it's going to stick to the table. You don't want to get this too thin. If you get it too thin, you're going to see the bumps on the rice cereal. So I want to get it big enough just to cover the whole piano. Put it over the top. So you're going to form this. Get your little pinky finger out and tuck in that keyboard piece. I'm doing a small little piano here. You can do a bigger one and set it on a sheet cake, which would be really nice. Okay, so once this is all kind of tucked in and snug, this is a little fondant smoother. You're going to use that to smooth any bumps down. If you see any air bubbles in your fondant, you can just pop it with a pin and then just continue to work it in. You're going to get your razor blade out and you're just going to cut around the perimeter. You want to, don't cut too close because then you're going to see the rice cereal. So you want to cut just around it, and then a little bit of the extra that you're going to have, you're going to tuck it underneath. Once that's covered, you want to set that aside. Rework the rest of your fondant. Just put that in the bag for right now. Then with a little bit of royal icing, I just had brown cardstock, but ideally if you can get black, that way, you know, there's nothing showing if you happen to miss a spot. You're going to get a little royal icing, and you're going to adhere your little piano. If you're worried about some of this cardstock showing, get a little black gel paste, food color, and you're going to just paint around the edge. You can eliminate this step. Like I said, if you planned ahead, like you should, get you some black cardstock. You can eliminate this. But being that I didn't plan ahead, and I'm a perfectionist, it's going to bother me that that's showing, so I'm just going to paint it with some black gel paste, food color. So once that's painted, you're going to get some of your black fondant out. And I'm actually rolling a finishing piece that's going to surround the whole bottom parameter of the piano, just to finish it off. This is why that cardstock, the second piece, the bigger piece, you want a little bit bigger so that can rest on the top of it. You want to roll this out fairly thinly. You don't want to get it too thick. And I kind of eyeball this, you figure out about how much you need. I'm still needing a little bit more. This, when you use a fondant smoother as opposed to your fingers, it helps make more of an even piece. Your fingers will create little bumps in this. This is why I like to use a smoother. I'm using both at the same time. So once that's rolled out, hopefully I have a big enough piece here, we're going to wet down the side. I like to end it in, a corner piece. So we're going to start on one side here, wrap it around. Get your razor blade out, cut your extra piece off, cut it again. And I like to get a nice straight edge knife, just kind of tuck it in there. So once you have that covered and you have your little finishing piece around it, that part is pretty much done. You want to set that aside. I used a wooden dowel for the legs. If you're a big perfectionist and you want this to be all edible, you can roll out fondant ahead of time. I would do it probably 3 or 4 days. Put a little Tylose in it. That way you get it nice and sturdy. And then you would just cut about 1-inch pieces. This is 1-inch pieces for this size. This is going to have to be adjusted depending on how big your piano is. Regular wooden dowel. I actually colored this with just black food coloring. And then I hot glue gunned these to the bottom of this board. If you're using all edible materials, then you want to use some black royal icing and secure it that way. So once that's done, you kind of want to leave it there for a little while, let it set. Keys, try to get the black off of your hands because you're going from black to white fondant, and that's not good to get that in. So hopefully I won't get too much black on here. So you're just going to roll out a white piece that is going to be a little, for the keys right here, a little strip of white fondant. Once again, I eyeball this. Let's see here. Let's measure this. Okay. Cut it to size. Okay, so we're going to wet this a little bit. Put our keyboard down. There you go. And you're going to get fine brush, paintbrush, little black food coloring. My daughter is actually playing piano right now, and I can't remember what the keyboard looks like, so I'm just going to eyeball this. And you're just going to put little paint, little black stripes to mimic a keyboard. We're going to do the little seat, little bench. All that is a chunk of black fondant. Soften it up. This doesn't need to be real smooth. Said you actually want this on the thicker side. Getting your knife, cutting out a little rectangular square piece. And then if you want like a quilted pattern, I just do this 3 times one way, 3 times the other way. Once the quilted pattern's on, then you can, this is just a little finishing touch. I add some little black candy beads. You stick it on the bottom here. And that's the seat. You want to get, if you can get a steamer, this is great. This works really nice in getting rid of all your little extra messy powdered sugar blotches that you have on here, and it also gives it a nice shine. You want to hold it a few inches away, make sure that it's not dripping, and it actually makes this very shiny. So you want to do both the seat and the piano itself. Just make sure and be extremely careful with this. This water will evaporate very quickly, so you want to do this a little bit quicker. And then I'm also going to steam this is the top part of the piano. And if you want to put this piano piece on the top, I just roll a little sausage of fondant. I put it right almost to the edge. A little bit of water, and attach your. If you need more to put more in, just kind of tuck it in, and then there you go. This is how to make a piano decoration out of fondant. Hope you enjoyed it. Please visit our website for more inspirational cake ideas, tips, and tricks. Thanks for watching.